wow, this is like super funky. You know, with Jasper, actually the reason I came down was less about Music Matters and more for the fact that it's actually his birthday week. So quick round of applause for Jasper on his birthday. Definitely have gotten a lot older since the first Music Matters I attended. Debatably wiser, not quite sure. But enough in jest. Let's get things started. Let's kick things off with the guy that's going to get the clock ticking, the man from work, from the land down under. We have Mr. Ollie Wards, not Ward, Wards. So he's the man, and he is going to give us the lowdown, the breakdown, and all things all good on TikTok. Ollie, how are you doing down there?
G'day, Bernie. Thanks for that. Kia ora, everybody, and big shout out to everybody in the room as well. I feel weird being a floating head. Like, you know, I am talking to you from Australia. It's like I'm the Wizard of Oz. Sort of, you know, I assume you've pulled some curtains and I'm just sort of floating somewhere. It's really great to be here.
I forgot to mention, because we're doing this live, and for those of you out there, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're beaming in from. Ollie is actually the director of music of TikTok Australasia, also known as Australia and New Zealand. Ollie, I believe you are actually a Kiwi based in Australia, is that correct?
I am.
All right,
yes. So my hidden allegiance, even though I live in Australia, I'm a Kiwi. So, you know, you might be able to detect the accent if you're onto that, but live here in Sydney and look after both countries.
Okay, so let's get things started with, you know, look, obviously 2021, there was a hit parade of viral video moments, viral video highlights. What were some of the top TikTok campaigns that you and your team witnessed, or more importantly, were perhaps maybe even involved with, that really took off from where you had actually music or music artists really take off from the Asia Pacific region and really rocket fueled these particular APAC music artists from a local stage to a global spotlight?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, being in Sydney, if I could start with a couple of artists from my neighbourhood, pretty much. You know, many people will be aware of the Kid Laroi, who's been at the top of the US charts recently and has certainly seen success via various, you know, quite a few different TikTok viral tracks. But there's an incredible story of another Sydney artist called Masked Wolf. And this guy put out a song in 2019 and, you know, was literally working a day job. I think he was working in an office, maybe selling printer ink or something like that earlier this year. And this song he put out a couple of years ago called Astronaut in the Ocean just picked up steam on TikTok, and our team spotted it and, you know, got in touch, and we're very happy to see that the song has, you know, gone all the way to the top of the Billboard charts on the back of about 17 million videos using it on TikTok. And, you know, the numbers are quite, it's worth sort of stopping and going, 17 million videos, that's not even views. So if you imagine all of the people that have made those videos and added that song as the soundtrack, deliberately chosen it, listened to it, and then all of the people who have then seen those videos, from that, to get to the top 10 of the US Billboard chart, being a rapper from Maroubra in Sydney, that's just incredible. And, you know, my team are always kind of having a little high five and a fist bump when we see Australian and Kiwi artists go from this part of the world and go global. And that's why I'm really kind of excited working at TikTok, is giving artists the opportunity to do that.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing, absolutely phenomenal. You know, like, obviously, you know, we all know and have heard a lot about the fact that, you know, although most of Asia is actually, you know, known for strong local music artists, dominated by local fans, kind of fervor for local music songs by local music artists, TikTok has, you know, obviously become a game-changing go-to gateway for more and more international music artists who've been seeking, and more importantly, actually finding surprising levels of success in Asia. If you had to sort of pinpoint what are some of the key reasons that you feel enabled these international music acts to open doors to really discovery here in Asia?
Well, I mean, like when you think about it, it's like, why would music have borders? right? And of all of the kind of content verticals that I guess you can see on digital platforms like TikTok, you know, we have sport and entertainment, and music is a key part of what we do. There's no real reason why a geographic border should interrupt that, and it's so great to see that it doesn't. And I think, you know, speaking about music from the APAC region and crossing borders when it previously might not have done so as much, I think it speaks to the diversity of communities within those countries and the diversity of not only the backgrounds of the users, but also their tastes. I think people are keen to discover music that's not from their, you know, usual sort of palette. But one kind of insight that I've come to that I observe with our users is, with TikTok specifically, the job to be done for users isn't the same as other music platforms. People don't necessarily come to TikTok to listen to music. We're a short form video app, and the reason people are interacting with music on the platform is to attach it to vision. So people are either looking for the right song to soundtrack their video, or they're making a video that actually relates to the music itself. And I think that is quite a different job to do for the audience than, you know, if you're going to listen to music on the DSPs. And that means that something like, recently we had a track out of Vietnam by Juan Reed, The Magic Bomb, which was a soundtrack to a huge global trend on TikTok. And it's kind of irrelevant where it comes from. That particular song had a beat and it had a audio aesthetic that made it work for this particular trend, and therefore it worked. And that's what's really exciting. It's kind of like find out the song, hear the song a lot on the video sharing app, and then go and find the artist, as opposed to kind of going, okay, well, I like music from my usual taste that might be, you know, indie rock or something, but then you're served and you discover music from outside of your experience, whether it's from Asia or beyond.
You know, with TikTok emerging obviously as one of the most powerful and influential social media platforms to break new artists, as you mentioned, break new songs, as you harped on. But yes, you know, you've been breaking some new dance moves as well, which I would love to see, but you're not here, you're down there. You know, the promotional value of TikTok, there we go, is, you know, the promotional value of TikTok is undeniable. However, it's been recently reported, and dare I say, maybe even recently rumored, that TikTok has been, according to the words of Cardi B, making some money moves to evolve into a more dynamic, more diversified monetization partner for music artists. I was wondering if you could share with us some of these new exciting TikTok initiatives, and more importantly, explain how they will potentially convert these, you know, 15 seconds of fame into hopefully $15 million of fortune for music artists.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is super important, and musicians are, you know, quite rightly looking for different revenue streams and to be supported by the places that fans can find their music. The first thing I'd say is, you know, we're really proud to have deals in place with rights holders, labels. We've recently just this week announced a multi-year deal with APRA AMCOS, who look after publishing and songwriters in Australia and New Zealand, and, you know, really making sure that the actual structure is in place for artists and rights holders to see revenue through use on TikTok. There is some exciting stuff, you know, in the works, and some experimenting has been done with things like ticketed events for live streams on TikTok. Our Korean team have done some really interesting stuff in that space, and that might be something of the future. And as well as e-commerce, there's you know, experiments in some territories have access to merch sales through TikTok, and some artists have, you know, done amazing numbers via merch directly on the platform. But I think one of the other things that must be said is, you know, and what I mentioned before that excites me is that success on the platform does lead to genuine fandom off platform. Like you mentioned, 15 seconds of fame becoming $15 million or whatever. But
about 1.5.
I would be 1.5. Okay, yeah, 10x it, as they say in the tech space. But yeah, I think, you know, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't the case that people discovering music on TikTok do go on to complete that user journey and become well-rounded fans, and, stream the music in full on DSPs. You know, now the world's opening up, buy tickets to shows, buy merch, and you know, become a general fan of an artist they've discovered on TikTok, and hopefully that creates lots of different revenue streams in the long run that actually makes them go from that 15 seconds of star to, can we say 15 million? Currency depending.
Let's go for it. 15 million, why not?
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously, you know, you were talking about the crossover sort of impact from TikTok to other DSPs and whatnot. But one of the interesting things I actually saw on your rap sheet, and since it was there, I figure we can talk about it publicly. But this new initiative coming from TikTok called TikTok Radio. What's that all about? And more importantly, what was your role on that?
Well, I should talk to my parole officer. I didn't realize my rap sheet is out there. So actually, yeah, that was something that I was really pleased to get off the ground and onto the air over here this year. I teamed up with our friends at iHeartRadio, and we launched a radio station called TikTok Trending, and it is just that. It's playing the music that's trending on TikTok. One of our little catchphrases for it is, it's TikTok for your ears when your eyes are busy. So, you know, people love TikTok and scrolling and consuming the videos, but you can't really do that if you're driving. Well, please don't do that if you're driving. And, you know, it's a way to kind of like stay up with TikTok music and, you know, not just the music, but the trends and the cultural kind of stuff around it. And I think it represents us wanting to be part of the music environment. And I think that's a really important point, is that I see TikTok as part of the music environment that lots of different platforms and different points of the user journey make up, and hopefully act symbiotic with each other, where discovery might happen with TikTok, but full-length listening might happen elsewhere. And the radio station is kind of an extension of that, and it's just a great listen. You know, it's pretty chaotic, but it's fun, like TikTok.
So Ollie, if we were to kind of rumble through your personal, your private TikTok account, and actually if we had to look through your TikTok following list.
Again, I should speak to my parole officer and stop that, because, you know, but no.
Would be your, I would say, maybe top three, maybe music artists of the moment that you feel sort of embody anything and everything that you would maybe classify as best practices. The guys who are actually just working it, really owning the TikTok platform for their own, you know, purposes. And, you know, the three music artists that make you wake up early in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, slap yourself a little bit and say, damn, I've got the best job on the planet. Who would those three music artists be right now?
I do that. I look at the mirror, slap myself, and then quickly open the app and start scrolling even in the morning like that. So if you'll allow me to focus on Australian and Kiwi artists, there's a few that kind of represent different, I guess, fields of play that they partake in. There's an artist from Melbourne, Australia called All Day, who's a rapper. He's kind of moved into the indie rock scene at the moment, but he is super funny. He does kind of like sketch comedy type things. But I would also say that I don't think that artists need to look at those musical performers who do kind of branch out into comedy or other types of content, but he's just especially good at being quirky and you know, letting people see his personality beyond the music. On the other side of that, there's an artist from Sydney called Ula, and this is wild. She actually, I think she's gained about 1 million followers just this year. And that's mostly been done by live streaming and going live. And she's actually a busker. So she'll go out on the streets of Sydney and she'll literally have the town hall behind her and trams going past and things like that. And she'll set her camera up and be performing for people on the street like a regular busker. But she's actually looking down the barrel of the camera while she's performing. And it's like she's more aware of the audience online than that are walking by, and it really works for her. You'll clock into these live streams and she'll have thousands of people watching. And to your revenue point earlier, actually, she there's gifting available, so it's kind of like virtual busking in the sense where she's making more money from people watching and gifting her performing live on TikTok than she is from the people walking past and you know, putting money in the hat kind of thing. So that's just seen her literally grow over 1 million followers this year, and that's incredible. I kind of like love to see these things where I wouldn't have thought that was possible, but you know, what more is possible beyond that? One more for you. Not an Aussie or a Kiwi, but there's an artist from the States, Max Frost, who I really like, and he does kind of like covers, but in the style of a different band. So he'll do Tame Impala in the style of the Beatles or something like that, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ollie. This year we did it virtual, but next year we got to do it for real here in Singapore. And so that wraps up our little bit on TikTok. Thank you so much, Ollie.